Here, I discovered that not many people have this opportunity to come to this university. I discovered that not many people have the possibility to study at all in Los Santos area. Many people are going to the USA to work, to find opportunities. It's a dream come true. We are very happy, but we need support. When I always look at the image of that we have here at the University of Costa Rica, and when I see the sunflower facing the sun, getting the light from the sun, I think that this light cannot be kept just for the university. I think that you guys have to take this light to the small communities and help us with that. Because what we're doing is to give kids, children, adults the possibility to learn as I say. What we are doing there is not only giving our children the possibility to learn a second language, but also to have the opportunity to protect the gift that they have in our area.
So to begin, I'll tell you a little about the school. The mission is to promote social development and environmental sustainability in the community through acquisition of English as a second language. And the Learning Center model is based on community commitment and volunteer support. So this is something that started really right in the community. The people were passionate about having a center where the children and adults of the community could be educated outside of the public school system, where they could go every day and have a center dedicated to learning. The vision is to be a model learning center for social development and environmental sustainability in rural communities in Costa Rica. So what we're hoping here is to do a really excellent job and build everything up exactly. And part of the benefit of having Laura from England and Haley from the US and teachers from everywhere is they have in their own classrooms with their Costa Rican teachers, they have one set of, one methodology, but from us they have other perspective. And it's not to say that one way is not better than the other, it's just to have different ways. We try to pay the host families to cover the expenses of the volunteers, but the host families would never make any kind of profit. So they open their homes to the volunteers to show support for this project in the community and to show that they really want this opportunity for education. The Ministry of Education, we've been so fortunate to have Manolo. He was explaining how he had this vision to set the center up, and he's also been very supportive of us trying to create our programming and trying to network and make connections that will help us to improve the center. And finally, what we're hoping is for your involvement to provide programming and standards and to be a big part of what we're doing, because this project is nationwide. For now, we're just in one place, and we hope that this project goes well, but with your help, we imagine that it can do very well. So, I will talk about the volunteers, just so that you have some idea of the quality of education that the students are receiving. Every volunteer that comes to volunteer in our center is either ESL, TEFL, or TESOL certified, or has a 4-year degree in education. And all of the volunteers have a 4-year degree, at least in something. And then also some prior TEFL experience. So we require at least 2 of those 3 things. I have taught English in China and
level of class, so that Angela can tell the board exactly what we're doing, and that so volunteers after us can quite literally use our lesson plans. If they're saying, oh, we're doing colors, how can I teach this? And behind every lesson plan, I also have detailed descriptions of the plans. So in every lesson, we have to complete reading, speaking, writing, and listening. And not for every single part of the lesson, but in all. And up here we have our objectives of the class. So for this class, we were doing propositions, months, and ordinal numbers. And then on the left, we have the time. So I know exactly how much time each project should take, so I can lengthen or shorten things. And then we have the motivation, which is basically getting them excited about what they're learning that day. Whether they're using their hands, making something, drawing something. And then we have the information, where we say, okay, this is what we're doing today. And we kind of teach them it, and especially with my children, it's usually the shorter part because their attention spans are not the longest. And then we have the practice, where they get to practice what they learned. Usually it's with writing or reading. For my younger kids, they usually draw something. And then we have the application, where they say, okay, this is what you've learned, this is how we practice it, and now let's apply it to the real world in English, or how can I use this in my world. And every single day we have to have a visual. So that's either like writing on the board or they're drawing something so they can see it, they can hear it, audio. Kinesthetic is like moving around.
Yeah, so you just spend a lot of time sort of preparing materials. Like you can see up with these numbers. We prepared a big sort of like some big boards with like Velcro that the children also with alphabet on, and days of the week, dates, stuff like that, so they can take it off, change it. It's visual. They can be used in a number of circumstances. We kind of try to take the children outside, move them around a lot, just to kind of keep their attention span, give them sort of different perspectives of learning. Because we want the learning to be fun, you know, they're getting a lot of sort of, they get English, some of them in school, so we want them to really, really develop their passion for English at the Learning Centre, so helping them enjoy it and letting them do really fun activities, we think really help that.
So we've really tried to vary the way that they learn to get them excited about where they are, what kinds of things are available to them, and to get them thinking creatively about the way they see things. A few weeks ago, Kaylee and Laura took the kids on a scavenger hunt outside. They gave them a list of words in English, and they had to mark them off when they saw them. And the kids were looking for volunteers that come in every year. There are plans in place already to develop centers in other parts of the country through the Peace Corps TEFL program. We have some grant opportunities, and we have the standards and supervision of Peace Corps. If we have a question about how something should be done, if we have any really technical questions, there's an entire team to support us in that we can call, and we have the human resources to help us. And finally, long-term commitment. Each of us is here for 27 months. All the volunteers who come, that's a minimum requirement. So we know that the people that are coming are qualified because the Peace Corps accepted them to serve here, and they're going to be here for a significant amount of time. So they'll serve well, and you'll have the continuity of 2 years of service in the same place. So what we're hoping for is accreditation and alliance with the University of Costa Rica for the recognition of UCR's presence in rural communities, for the standards for the quality of education, because if we use your programming, then we'll be following something that's set and structured and works. And for impact, to offer opportunity for rural education nationwide. It's wonderful that so many students are able to come to University of Costa Rica, but not all have the opportunity. Some need to work in their home communities, some don't have the funding. But if we provide this opportunity in people's own communities, it'll spread education through the country. So.
Everything that we have here. Right now I'm the academic coordinator of the major, and I believe that, you know, from what I could see here, there are certain things that we could support and that we could do, especially in terms of materials. We also have you know, some programs that could actually be part of your program, and in terms of also why not talks and, you know, this type of activities that will for professional development, or ideas on how to deal with certain teaching problems or learning problems as well. And I'm very glad that this kind of activities could be done, could be created in a community where, you know, it's far away from the cities, and that we could actually expand our horizons, you know, in terms of possibilities for others to learn and to acquire. So I see many positive things that we, as University of Costa Rica School of Mother Languages, could actually do to support this initiative. Mayra Solis is the head of the master's program in TESOL, and Roxana Chavez is the coordinator of our, what do you call that?
Community service?
Community service outreach program
Yes.
that we have.
Well, excuse me, one of the things that we want to promote also is the possibility for your students to attend our center and be part of it in the community service and work with the volunteers that we have there. So there's also a benefit that we can have together.
Sure.
Having your students in our learning center, being part of it and working with the community.
That's
So
great.
that's something very important.
What do you use to teach, like in terms of a program? Do you follow a program or the ministry program or directly here, right? We have to discuss if that's an option. But that would be great because I know that we will be training a community that wants to be trained. And we will be sharing with students who are already doing, like are already in classes, and I know that they will be motivated enough to have our students from the university teach them, and then we will leave all the material there because that's what we do. We donate materials that we prepare. We use recycling, materials. We do a lot of, creative things.
But you also, when you presented your lesson plans, you also mentioned levels. Did you say level? Do you have different levels?
Yeah, do you want me to?
Sure. With our children, they're divided. Kindergarten is by themselves, so it's first grade. Second and third are together. Fourth is by themselves. Fifth and sixth are together. The students that go to the colegio, Laura teaches Setivo, like the seventh grade class, so they have their own. And then we have 2 levels for adults. We have beginner, just very, very from the beginning, and then we have a basic class. So those are the courses that we offer right now. We try to divide them by ability as much as we can.
But yeah, and the adults are learning. I started with beginner adults where they quite literally knew nothing. And I mean, they didn't even know hello and goodbye. They didn't know anything. And they're learning so rapidly in my class, at least in my beginner adult class. I mean, obviously my children, their brains are like sponges. But in my adults, I expected them to be a lot slower with learning, and they're not. They pick it. And I only have 2 classes a week. And they remember everything, and they use everything, and now they can even make their own sentences. But before, they couldn't say hello or goodbye.
It's so enthusiastic.
More than 50 years ago, the revolution in Costa Rica started in Los Santos area with Figueres. Now we are starting a new revolution, but a different revolution with education. That's why we need you, because I think you are the head of education in Costa Rica. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And as I said before, so I'm going to write up, a report to the head of the School of Mother Languages, and I expect a positive answer. And from our perspective as coordinator, and I think that we could actually start, having some important connections. And while in the while the head and the bureaucracy, part does its thing, but we could actually start, having connections, and that I'm very glad that we could actually do this because the School of Mother Languages, our major has just get the accreditation, and one part of our weaknesses is that we don't go out of the university, and this is a chance for us to give some of the things that we are creating and developing through research and our own materials, so that others could benefit. So that's a great chance, and I'm glad that it's with you.
Well, we also brought these apples for the head of the school, so I don't know.